Welcome back to Sunday School at Home, Junior's Edition. Today we're going to be talking about the saddest part of the Bible, but also the most important part. If you guys have your Gospel Story Bible, join me and open it up to story number 116, the death of Christ. So today we're going to jump right in and have a look at our story. It looks like this. So if you guys are on a blue page, then you're all set to go. So before we come to start our story, I'm going to tell you guys what happened after Jesus was arrested, which was our story last week. So Jesus is arrested, then he's taken away, and some important government people ask him some questions and talk to him to find out if he's guilty of what these people have said he's done. They don't think he's done anything wrong. And yet this huge group of people shout at them and yell and say, Jesus needs to die. And so they hand Jesus over to this crowd of people, and they take him and they nail him onto a wooden cross. And he is hanging there to die. And that's where this story starts. So Jesus is hung on the cross, and these people are there yelling and being so unkind and cruel to him. And even during that time, Jesus says, Father, forgive them. They do not know what they are doing. They don't even understand. Then he goes on to tell John, his disciple, to take his mom into his home and take care of her, and for his mom to love John like her own son. Then the darkness comes and falls on all the earth. Everything goes dark, and Jesus is about to die, and he calls out, my God, why have you forsaken me? And then, right at the end of his life, he says, it is finished. Father, I give my spirit into your hands. And then Jesus dies. And when Jesus dies, there's an earthquake that shakes the whole land. Rocks split open. The curtain in the temple is torn in two, and people are raised from the dead. Then there is a Roman centurion who's like a soldier, and he stands at the bottom of the cross and he sees all of this happening. And at the end he says, truly, this man was the Son of God. Then some soldiers come to see if Jesus is still alive, and so he comes and pierces Jesus' side with a spear, and blood and water pour out, and they know that Jesus has died. Then Joseph of Arimathea comes and asks to take Jesus' body so he can wrap it up and get it ready for burial. And Nicodemus also comes to help him. Do you guys remember Nicodemus who spoke to Jesus at nighttime? We talked about it a couple of weeks ago. So clearly he did come to believe that Jesus really was God's son. And he comes and helps wrap him up and get him ready for burial. And then they place him into a tomb that is cut out of the rock. And some soldiers are placed there, and a huge, heavy stone is rolled in front of the tomb so that it's sealed up and closed. And now I'm going to read this last part here because it's really important. The three most important words Jesus spoke on the cross are, it is finished. The terrible pain of dying on the cross was a horrible way to die, but the suffering Jesus experienced was much worse. When he hung on the cross, God the Father turned his back on him. The Father poured out his anger for our sin upon his Son. Though Jesus was sinless, he became sin for us. He took the punishment for our sin as our substitute. When Jesus said, it is finished, he was saying the punishment was over. The penalty had been paid, and God's anger over the sins of those who believe in his Son Jesus was all gone. So that's a really sad story. But as we heard in that last little part, it means that the punishment for our sins, all of the sins that we commit, Jesus has already taken those upon himself when he died on the cross. So that's good news. Now we're going to have a look at the little questions underneath. The first one is, why is Jesus' death so important? Well, that's like I just said. It's because he took the punishment for our sins upon himself. So we don't have to die a death the way he did. What does God the Father do when Jesus hangs on the cross? Do you remember that from the beginning? It says, God turns his face away. And he turns his face from Jesus because he has to pour out all of the punishment for sin upon his own son. And then our last question is, where do Jesus' friends put his body? Why don't we draw a picture of that one together? So today for our picture, I hope you guys have a paper and pencil. We're going to draw a cross, and then we're going to draw a picture of the tomb. That's where they put Jesus' body, and they rolled a big stone in front of it. So to draw our cross, we're mostly doing some straight lines. A straight line here, and then 2 down on either side. Then we're going to do 1 out this way, and 1 out this way, and then 1 down, and 1 down. And then we're going to bring this one back in to line it up with this top line, and same with this one. Then we're going to draw 1 here all the way down, and 1 here all the way down, and then a cross. And then to draw our tomb, we're mostly going to be making a rainbow with some circles. So we're going to draw a straight line, and then we're going to draw it up like this, and over, connect it up. And then we're just going to draw the big stone that was rolled in front of the entranceway to Jesus' tomb and sealed it all up. Now, if you guys know how to spell some of your letters, we're going to write those 3 important words. It is finished. And we'll do that down here at the bottom. So first we're doing the letter I, then T, and then make a space for is, I, S, and then, I'm going to fix that, finished. F, I, N, I, S, H, E, D. It is finished. And there we have the cross where Jesus finished it all for us. He took the punishment for our sins so that we don't have to be separated from God anymore and die a spiritual death. And then he gets placed into the tomb. And on Sunday when you join me, we're going to talk more about Jesus and the tomb. Thank you guys for joining me today. I'll see you on Sunday. Bye, everyone.